Mythbusters is one of the most vibrant and intriguing popular science television shows, which first aired in 2003. The primary hosts, Jamie Hyneman and Adam Savage and their team, test various myths, legends, and stereotypes using experiments and a scientific approach. However, sometimes experiments went differently than planned. The results of these failures led to dangerous and life-threatening situations. Adam and Jamie even faced pressure from their own network, as well as angry advertisers, about what they could and couldn't do and say on the show. Here are some of the most interesting behind-the-scenes secrets you never knew about Mythbusters. Some fans would say the show was at its most entertaining when it was doing what it loved most, blowing up stuff. But when one myth they tested about an easily available material and its supposed explosive properties turned out to be true and very dangerous, they decided they could never let the public know about it. Plus, the cast took a vow of secrecy to never dish about the details to the public. Anyone who has watched Mythbusters knows that the setup for each experiment includes plenty of safety precautions to protect the cast and crew. They always warn their viewers, do not try this at home.
But we're professionals.
Don't try this at home, whoa!
But things sometimes went differently than planned. In 2009, the show headed to Yolo County in California to test a particularly silly myth. Can a person literally have their socks knocked off by an impact? For this, they placed sock-wearing mannequins at various distances from the blast point and prepared to examine the results. They then ignited 500 pounds of ammonium nitrate, causing windows in neighboring houses to shatter and some roofs to be damaged. The explosion turned out to be much bigger than anyone expected. Luckily, no one got seriously hurt, besides the Mythbusters' reputation, that is. Although they achieved something, according to a local news report, some worried residents ran out into the street, and one woman was even knocked off her couch by the powerful blast. But that's not all. In 2011, the Mythbusters build team were testing whether a stone cannonball could be fired with the same force as a metal one. To examine this myth, the team headed out to the Alameda County bomb range and brought along a self-made cannon that they had used in prior episodes. During the test, they loaded a metal projectile into the cannon. They fired it, causing the cannonball to pass through a nearby house. Originally, the cannonball was supposed to pass through several barrels of water and a cinder block wall in order to slow the projectile down, but it flew in a different trajectory. It smashed a 10-inch hole through one house, bounced off the roof of another, and ultimately came to a stop after hitting a parked minivan. The Mythbusters have described this incident as their worst day ever. Fortunately, no one was injured. Regardless, the network promised to pay for any damages, and Adam and Jamie personally met with the affected families to express their sympathy. Don't let the cannonball incident fool you. The biggest accidents on Mythbusters almost always happen to the Mythbusters themselves. In one of Mythbusters' very first episodes, Adam and Jamie investigated whether using a cell phone at a gas station can lead to an explosion. Testing this myth required the duo to build a gasoline-filled glass chamber, which they would then attempt to ignite with a phone. The episode featured many mini explosions, as the Mythbusters tried to figure out the proper concentration of gasoline to test the myth. But one of these explosions, Adam got too close to the glass chamber and burned a part of his eyebrow and hair. According to Jamie, some of the worst injuries to occur on Mythbusters were broken fingers, ironically, broken while handling safety equipment. Those heavy glass panels that we put up are kind of bad to put your fingers in between if you're not careful. Tori's worst injury probably came in the 2010 season, during an episode where the build team was investigating whether a person could hold onto a ledge indefinitely. Tori managed to hang on with his bare hands for almost a minute before falling. Unfortunately for Tori, he was suspended right above an open window frame, so his fall wasn't clean. As he descended, his shins smashed against the windowsill of the concrete frame below. When Tori was released from the harness, there was a big gash on his left leg that was bleeding substantially. Tori's list of injuries certainly doesn't stop at a banged-up shin. In another episode on a goat farm, while he was holding a handful of goat feed, one curious goat jumped up and kicked Tori in the groin. "If I had a nickel for every time I got hit in the groin on this show, I could retire," Tori once said. "I hope I could still have kids." "We hope so too, Tori." Surprisingly, Adam and Jamie were not friends. rumors swirled that the two main busters, always such a successful team on screen, actually hated each other off screen. Throughout their years of working together, Adam and Jamie tried to spend as little time together as possible when it didn't involve filming the show. They always ate together at different tables. Considering this, it's impressive that this duo managed to maintain such productive professional relationships for so long. As Savage put it, "We disagree about the small details every single day, on almost every single detail, but we don't really disagree about the big stuff." If you're interested in the relationships between Tori, Carrie, and Grant, these guys were the complete opposite of Adam and Jamie. They always got along very well with each other. While the Mythbusters had total creative freedom to do a lot of crazy things that were extremely risky, and yet they would not allow them to use a particular word to describe a fluid that males produce. While filming an episode about the legend of a Civil War soldier who was shot in a sensitive area, leading to the bullet impregnating a woman, Discovery censored them from directly saying the scientific word for it. That forced them to get creative when talking about the myth with terms like genetic legacy instead. While Discovery might have prevented the Mythbusters from using particular words during an episode, they still let them explore the myth. However, the network was once pressured by advertisers to stop them entirely from testing out if it was possible to hack RFID chips in credit cards. When some of the biggest credit card companies in the world found out the show was researching the technology behind the chips and whether it could be circumvented, lawyers made it clear if they went forward with the episode, it would be the end of their relationship with the network. Adam Savage said Discovery was way outgunned and the network backed way down because they greatly depended on ad revenue to be profitable and couldn't afford to lose the business. At the end of 2015, Mythbusters announced the conclusion of their program, stating that the last 2 seasons were the highest rated of all time. So, while it's sad that the Mythbusters show ended, many may find it interesting to learn what they are up to after the show. Starting with Adam after Mythbusters, he became the host of 2 more shows called Mythbusters Jr. and Adam Savage's Tested. Although the shows were pretty good, the network canceled them after 1 season. However, in recent years, his most significant project is his YouTube channel, which has over 6 million subscribers. New videos about science and construction are uploaded almost daily. Jamie Hyneman's life after Mythbusters wasn't as eventful. He more or less left show business and mainly focused on personal projects. For example, he built a tank specifically designed for firefighting. As for Tori, after the end of Mythbusters, he began as host on the Travel Channel's Thrill Factor with Carrie Byron, which focused on the science and engineering behind American amusement park rides and attractions. Afterwards, he became the host of the project White Rabbit, together with Kari and Grant. Carrie teamed up with Tori Bellesi to host Thrill Factor on the Travel Channel and White Rabbit Project on Netflix. Grant Imahara, following his time on Mythbusters, he continued to make appearances on television, co-hosting Netflix's White Rabbit Project in 2016 alongside his fellow castmates. Sadly, Grant Imahara passed away on July 13, 2020, at the age of 49. Due to a ruptured intracranial aneurysm. Ultimately, the creators of Mythbusters skillfully combined science, entertainment, and education in an engaging and captivating format. The show left a significant mark on culture and remains an essential source of inspiration for all those interested in science and exploration. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.